differences. Now we're going to look in the Grantor Index. We're going to search in the digest for each owner's name for every year that they own the property. When they sell the property to another person, we will search that person's name until they sell it, and so forth. The Grantor Index is how we actually find encumbrances that are affecting a particular parcel of land. We search each owner's name in the Grantor Digest only for the time that they owned it. When they sell it, we move to the next owner. When that person sells the property, we move to the next, and so on until all owners of the property have been searched. When that person sells the property, we move to the next, and so on until all owners of the property have been searched. This is done by searching the owner's name in the Grantor Digest, starting from the day that they bought it and continue until the day that they sell it. When the person's name is found, look to see that the small legal listed matches the legal of the property that is being searched. If it matches, then write the book and page of the instrument down on the link sheet. If it does not match the legal description of the property we're searching, then we disregard that entry. Let's take a look back at the chain of title that we completed during the grantee process. Please print the example labeled Back Chain 1 and 2 located in the Resources section of this lesson. Please listen as I explain the back chain in detail. Look at the back chain that you just printed and locate the oldest link. That would be Book N, page 39. When we do the grantor process, we always start with the oldest deed and work forward in time. This would be Mrs. Maud Sims Camp. Mrs. Maud Sims Camp received the property from H.O. Camp on 8/21/1936. She sold the property via an executor's deed on 4/16/85. When we start searching for her name in the Grantor Digest from the date she purchased it until the date she sold it, 8/21 to 4/16/1985, you can see the two dates there. She owned that property from 8/21/36 and she sold it on 4/16/85. So that's the only time you search her name in the Grantor Digest. Now, as we run her name in the Grantor Digest between those two dates, you will find things that they have done with the property, such as they may have put an easement on the property, they may have got a mortgage. It's hard to say what they would have done with the property during their ownership, but when you find a document, like here I found SDN-40. SD stands for security deed. You can write security deed if you want, but I know what SD stands for, so I just abbreviated SD, and I found it in Book N, page 40. I don't do anything with it at this point. I just write it down and continue grantoring until I'm finished. Don't pull the books now. We'll do that later. As we find the books and pages of these documents, just write them down on the right side of the link as the example shows. Do not go get the book. You're going to interrupt the chain of title grantor process. Wait until you've looked at each name in the complete back chain. Once you're complete with the grantor process, we will look at each of the documents. As you can see from this example, we're working up the chain of title, writing down all the security deeds and covenants, easements, whatever we find under that person's name during that period of time that they own the property. And we're just kind of writing it on the right side, and we'll get back to it later. Again, as you can see, working our way up to Harold Akins to Robert G. Hill, there was two security deeds we found during his ownership. Robert G. Hill sold it to Dogwood Enterprises. I found a security deed, 435-216. I found another security deed in 445, page 297, and I found some covenants in Book 543, page 7, that you will need to look at. Robert G. Hill, there are the Dogwood Enterprises. There's the three documents that we found moving up the chain of title to South Fork Homes. I didn't find anything, so I wrote none found in that area, or put an X, whatever you want to do to remind yourself that you didn't find anything, but you did search that name during that period of time. moving up the chain of title, South Fork Homes sells it to Jason Edwards. Jason Edwards has a security deed 585, page 83, and it's recorded right after the warranty deed. If you look, 585, page 82. So that would be called a purchase money mortgage. So if your client orders a title search from you, that's called a purchase money mortgage, you would continue backwards in time until you found a security deed that's dated and recorded the same day as the warranty deed, and it's usually recorded in the next following page. So here it is, book 82, 585, page 82 is the warranty deed, security deed, 585, page 83. That's a purchase money mortgage. When you're finished running all names in the grantor book, we're going to determine who owns the property. As you will see, and as you have seen, each owner in the previous links sold the property. When we got to Jason Edwards, we realized we didn't find any deeds or warranty deeds out of his name at all. Since he didn't deed the property to anyone via warranty deed or a quitclaim deed, they own the property. That's how you determine who owns the property. The last people or person or organization that does not convey the property out actually owns the property. We can see here that he has a security deed 585, page 83, and a security deed 794, page 614 or 514. And that's Jason and Sean Edwards. So they do have a purchase money mortgage. This could be a second mortgage, or they could have refinanced the first mortgage. We don't know at this point, but we're going to find out shortly. As you can see from this example, we start with Maud Sims Camp, and we're actually going to look at all the documents that you had found during the grantor process. As you can see, Mrs. Maud Sims Camp had a mortgage in Book N, page 40. Now we go and pull that book and look at that document. Generally, when a mortgage is satisfied, the mortgage company will send in to the deed record room to be recorded a quitclaim deed releasing this mortgage, or something called a release that shows that this mortgage has been paid. So the clerk will receive this document, record this document, and go over to Book N, page 40, as you can see, and actually write on the deed, satisfied as per book and page, referencing the quitclaim deed or release that was sent in to satisfy this mortgage. If the mortgage is marked satisfied, put a cross through it, as you see here in the red line, and disregard it. It doesn't exist anymore. It was a mortgage on the property. It used to be a lien, but it's been paid off, so it's not a lien anymore. And we move up to the next link, Harold Akins. He put 2 mortgages on the property. We went and looked at each one of these books, 59 page, 59 page 130, and book 75 page 134. We pulled both of those books. Each one was marked satisfied, and it had a book and page referencing the document that was sent into the courthouse to show to the clerk which mortgage to mark as satisfied. So both of these are satisfied. I cross through them and disregard them. They don't apply to us any longer. Now, we'll move up the chain of title. As you can see, Robert G. Hill, 2 mortgages, paid off, crossed out. Go up to Dogwood Enterprises. They had 2 mortgages as well. I looked at those. Those were marked satisfied. The covenants remain with the property. Generally, when a piece of property is located in a subdivision, if there's tennis courts or a pool, the expenses associated with keeping up the common grounds, the clubhouse, the tennis courts, the pool, the playground, things of that nature, the expenses are divided amongst all owners of the property. And in the covenants, if you read the covenants, pick book 543, page 7, and read, you will see that there are mandatory dues or assessments. If there are mandatory dues or assessments, you must write that on your title report so the closing agent can collect that money at settlement. I know that the covenants still apply to the property, so I put a circle around it. Everything that does not apply anymore, cross it out. What does apply, put a circle around it. We'll go to get it later. South Fork Homes, as you can see, didn't have any mortgages at all, none found. So we Next, we can see that Jason and Sean Edwards had two mortgages. I looked at their first mortgage, 585, page 83. It was marked satisfied. So that was the mortgage they used to buy the property. Then later on, they went and refinanced their loan. They may have got a lower interest rate or extended their terms out or pulled out some equity. We don't know what they did. We just know that the first mortgage was paid off and there is a second mortgage, which is now the first mortgage, and that's book 794, page 5.